Hi everyone, I'm Mark from Travel Shorts. This is my son Matthew, and today we're in Dublin and we're about to do a GuruWalks free walking tour around the city of Dublin. It's going to start here at, what's his name, Wolfe Tone?
Yeah.
At the Wolfe Tone statue, just around the corner from the Irish National Gallery, the Natural History Museum and the Archaeology Museum. And like I said, it's a totally free walking tour, so I hope you enjoy the video. If you're not familiar with GuruWalk, I've actually used them around Europe many times. So if you're a regular subscriber to the channel, you'll see that me and Matthew and Holly, my daughter, who's usually on these trips with us, do free walking tours around Europe. So the purpose of GuruWalks is it's a free walking tour. There's a huge network of registered guides throughout the world, and you basically just pay whatever you want at the end. So it's just a tip to the guide. So today's trip in theory could be free of charge, but we'll obviously give a tip, usually about 10 euros each. So we'll tip 20 euros at the end of the day. I've left a link to actually book this tour down below in the description. So if you're interested in this tour, if you're thinking about coming to Dublin, just click on that link and I'll take you to this exact tour we're about to do shortly.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Can everyone understand me?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Very important on the tour. So my name is Cillian. Nice to meet you all. You're all very welcome here on the tour today. We're going to do quite a lot of walking. We will walk about 3 kilometers and I will show you things and give you recommendations of things to do during your trip here. I'm a big history nerd. That's my thing. I love history. And I sometimes meet another history nerd and we're like, oh my God, this is so interesting. And everyone else is like, awesome, deadly. Questions are very good on this tour. I like questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions or to even just make a comment. Maybe you just have a comment you'd like to make. So this statue is of a man and his name is Theobald Wolfe Tone. I think we can all agree that's a very badass name. Theobald Wolfe Tone. Great name for a great man. Tried to bring the Catholics and Protestants together into a group of equal status, because Catholics in the 1700s can't vote, can't own land, cannot hold public office, are not allowed to have any kind of power or aggregate wealth. They can't have money. They're not allowed to start a business. They are not allowed to have any kind of weapon, not even a butter knife. They are not even allowed to own horses. Yeah, completely subjugated second-class citizens. And the Protestants are the elites, the aristocrats, landowners, merchant class. So the rich, powerful, the poor, haves, have-nots. That's what they are. And he said, no, that's crap. I don't like this. I'm going to bring them together to one group called the United Irishmen, and they will have equal status. So he realized the only way for this to happen, Ireland must break away from the British Empire. We have to become one of the crazy new republics that people were talking about. And we were very inspired by the Americans. In 1776, they broke away from the British Empire. But even better, 1789, the French Revolution. Where's my French? Yeah. Very impressive. Didn't just break away from the monarchs. They killed them. Yeah, guillotine style. Very nice. Disaster. 20,000 Irish people were killed. And he was captured. And the price of an insurrection is death. So it failed. Yeah, 1798, as you can see, yeah, didn't go so well. It's the year he died. But it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't a waste of time, because I had huge changes in Ireland and across all of Europe. Things start to change after this guy, a little bit. Bad things still happen, but some better things start to begin. The period after his death, we call that in history the Enlightenment, the 1800s. Anything that you could potentially attribute as positive from colonialization comes after that period, and he is a huge part of that. This is the Archaeology Museum. This is one of the best museums in the country. So there are 4 really good museums right here on this, so as the Americans say, a block, like a rectangle of buildings. So this block. So we have archaeology. That over there, that's the Natural History Museum. We should call that the Dead Zoo. Behind me on the far corner is the National Library. And on the far corner is anyone into art?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So the National Gallery, one of the finest art museums in the world. And I'm not kidding. In there, they've got Caravaggio, Picasso, Van Gogh, Renier, Monet, Gillet, 3 Rembrandts. And all of it is free. It's all free. Dublin was founded by the Vikings in the 1200s. The 800s. It's 1200 years ago. So they actually were... Originally, this was a slave market. It was a Viking slave market, the largest one in Europe. That's what Dublin was built as. Because the Vikings wanted Irish because they were tough. They would survive the journey. So they come, they kill all the men, steal the women and children, bring them back to Scandinavia to build up their own populations. And so they wanted Irish because we were the toughest, healthiest, obviously the best looking. It's all here. Yeah, I know, it's tough. It's tough. And that's where Dublin was founded as. And it was originally actually, the name Dublin comes from a black gull. So it used to be the River Liffey. We'll see that a little later. And the River Poddle, where they used to collide 2 rivers. They would form a whirlpool. The kinetic energy hitting each other, form a whirlpool. And it stirs up the mud. And then the dark mud, so clear river water, dark mud makes a dark lake. And they would say, where will I meet you? I'll meet you on the east coast of Ireland by the Dark Lake. And in Irish, the words for Dark Lake is Dublin. So the locals called it the Dublin. I'll meet you by the Dublin. And that got anglicised to Dublin. But now I'm going to take you around the corner and I'm going to show you something else, something even more impressive. So this is the National Library. This is the entrance. The art exhibit is in there. That's the entrance over there, by the way, to the archaeology. So my 2 picks, my number ones are archaeology and National Gallery. They are really like world class. And then of course there are other museums around. And in the center of all of that building there, that is called Leinster House. Yeah, Leinster House. And that is where they manufacture hope. That is where the government meet. It's where Parliament is held. That is where my political leaders, with their infinite genius, wisdom, that is where they build a better Ireland for everyone. Yeah, they're okay. They're not so bad. They are arguably the most successful political party in modern history, maybe the history of the world. That's a pretty big statement to make, yeah. And I'll do it. And by what metric, by what measurement? Economics. That's where we all have different views about the world and how it should work. Where we all usually meet in the middle is money. You know, that's usually where we all like money. Money's awesome. They brought Ireland from one of the poorest countries in the Northern Hemisphere in the 80s to one of the richest countries in the world today. But by any measurement, our economy was the fastest growing economy in the world every year for 10 years straight, from the late 80s to early 90s. But they were right. So they invested in a knowledge-based economy, and we have one of the highest standards of education in the world. So all the corporations of the world said, wait, whoa, let's get this straight. So Ireland, you're one of the highest standards of education. You've got PhDs in astrophysics, economics, biochemistry, computer science, aeronautical engineering. But you're poor. You're all poor. So you'll work for cheap. You'll work for less than 1/10 of your North American competitors, less than 1/5 of your European competitors, particularly France, Germany, also advanced economies. But on top of all of that, you were a nationalised. You're only new to the free market. So we don't really have any competitors. We come in and take over, and your government is clearly willing to work with us. And on top of all of that, you're a tax haven. Where the hell do we sign up? And we had the fastest investment. Just every business came here. Trinity College. This is all founded in 1592 by Queen Elizabeth I. She wanted a place for her loyal Protestant subjects to get a world-class education. So she completed the Trinity of colleges Oxford, Cambridge, and the third one, Trinity College. And it is one of the finest universities in the world. The schools of science, engineering, and now in particular business are all like, normally I would walk you through the campus, but there are political protests happening. Students are in solidarity with the students over in North America, and I am very much strong in favor of political protests. Whether you're right or wrong, it's healthy democracy. You don't use your voice, you don't have. So what I will do instead is we're going to go this way. I'll walk you around Trinity instead, and I'll show you Grafton Street. So we'll cross the road that way. Grafton Street. And you can see the street name. See, they're always at Grafton Street. This is a great place to go shopping. If you want to go, the Lego. Who went to Lego already? Yeah, the Lego stores. There's some really good Disney stores. There's a lot of fun stuff. If you are fabulously wealthy and you want to go to the super expensive place, you know, like Harrods in London, our version is Brown Thomas. If you want to buy a coat for 10,000 euros, you can go there. I am currently saving up. Yeah, I want to buy a toothbrush in there any day now. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be amazing. But now I'm going to take us this way, and I'm going to show us a folk legend of Dublin called Molly Malone. Follow me this way. This is Molly Malone. That's Molly Malone there. So you guys might have heard of her before. I obviously learned about all the mythology and folklore. We learned about Molly Malone as a little boy. We learned that she used to help the sick, poor people of Dublin. Yeah, she would go around and they'd start dying and she'd feed them fish broth and nurse them back to health. Or if they was too late, if they were dying, she would sing to them to make it easier for their transition into death. She worked tirelessly all through the night. She never stopped. She's an amazing Molly Malone. How wonderful is she? And then I was about, 11, 10, and I saw the statue for the first time. And I saw its, very generous personality, yeah. And I was like, she used to work all through the night. Okay, and that's what she was. She was a prostitute. I did a history master's, and I asked my professor, what's the deal with Molly Malone? And he said she wasn't real. We don't think she was real. We think it was like a nickname, like, Jane Doe. So there was only one woman who ever was recorded as Molly Malone. In 1699, she died of a fever. And she wrote into the halfway house where she died, she signed her name, Molly Malone. And he said, actually, we think it was more like a moniker, like a nickname someone else gives you, like a type. Because Molly Malone probably meant you were really smart and a bit of a badass. Because we think it was somewhere between like a comedian and a political activist, because they'd ridicule the authorities, they'd make fun of them. One piece of evidence to support this idea is the statue itself. I've never seen a statue of a prostitute before, ever. There must be another one somewhere in the world, but I've never seen one. And the reason that makes me think she's an anti-authority figure is because we always build statues. All our legends, it's always about anti-authority. It's always the little guy takes on the big guy. David versus Goliath. Our stories are never the good emperor crush the little rebels. Yeah, glorious. It doesn't work that way. It's always anti-authority. So that's probably why she probably almost was. So she was a bit of a badass, most likely. So, or the series of women went by Molly Malone. Yeah, she's pretty cool. You've all noticed probably as we were walking past the interesting tradition of the statue of rubbing her for good luck. And that's not an Irish thing. The statue is 35 years old. It used to be down around the corner. And we never did that. None of us did that. But they moved it here in 2011, and then the tourists started rubbing her for good luck. So that's all you guys. You're all perverts. You did that. We're going to go this way, guys, and I'm going to show you one of the laneways of Dublin. What a great place to get a drink, to party, and to meet people. Right, guys, so this is Dame Lane. This is a great place to meet people, to make friends. So if you're looking to make some new friends or to find some romance on your holidays, this is a nice place to do all that, all the good, fun tourist stuff. This will be particularly so Sunday night. Yeah, it'll be busy in here. So this is where you'll meet local people. So if you want to make friends with locals, tonight they'll be all singing and dancing and kissing and hugging and having a great time in here. But if you want to go to a more tourist-friendly area than this, you go across the road to Temple Bar. Temple Bar is the artists' quarter. And a few years ago, before the pandemic, I would not have sent you to Temple Bar. I will only recommend places that I would go myself. I'm very determined about that. I go to these places myself and I eat the food and I drink the pints. I do it for you.
That's what I hear every day.
It's a terrible bird. And I bear it well, I must say. But I really do mean that. Temple Bar, because it was the arts quarter in the 60s, 70s, 80s. And then it became a parody of itself, a caricature. It's like a stereotype. It was like, this is awful. And Irish people did not go to Temple Bar before the pandemic. But about 10 years ago, the government recognised, no, this is not okay. We can't keep doing this. It's going to kill it. It's going to destroy this incredibly economic, prosperous area. And so they said, no, we're not going to allow this anymore. Ireland is a socialist, capitalist, free market society. We do not just take your business. If you have a successful business in Ireland, we won't go, oh, the government takes your business. We don't do that, thank God. But we do deny the license or applications for new businesses. So if you want to, there have been a couple of entrepreneurs who wanted to do, the McShamrock diddly, da. They're like, no, business denied. But if you want to build a science museum, if you want to build an art gallery, if you want to do a theatre, yeah, cool, that's awesome. And that's what's been coming back to Temple Bar. So actually it's pretty cool now. Very cool stuff to see in Temple Bar. And I would recommend to you, if you're going drinking, making friends, go to Temple Bar, have one drink. You know, I know a lot of Germans, Austrians, they don't enjoy the touristy style stuff. Go for one drink, check it out. Go people watching, see what you find. If you like it, great. If you don't, just then come here and move out into the more local areas. You'll probably, if you want to make friends with Irish people, very easy. You go to the bar and you buy a drink and you stand there for 30 seconds. They will. And if you get to speak once, you're doing well. You're very lucky. Yeah, that's how it works. So guys, this is what they read out. This is the proclamation. This is very much modeled on the American Declaration of Independence. The American Declaration of Independence is one of the greatest pieces of legislation of its day. Culmination of many moral philosophies, real strong personal liberties and freedoms. That's why we copied it. But it is modernized. It is a little bit superior by specifically, and I don't say that flippantly, because of the language used, and you can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about here. It's not we the people, it says Irish men and Irish women. Sovereign rights of women were respected since the formation of the state. And that is because we're awesome. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. And these are the lads who are executed. They are all the leaders. They are heroes. They were executed without trial. And they were viewed as kind of crazy initially. But I would like to, Ireland is a free, strong, capitalist, socialist republic. You can do what you want. You can think what you want. You can love who you want. You can marry who you want. You can identify. You can do whatever the hell you, as long as you don't hurt anybody else. In Ireland, you do whatever you want to do. And it's a thriving idea, place for ideas and innovation, technology. It's for world leaders in business, finance, and civil rights. And I really like to believe they would have been really impressed. They would have been proud of what we've achieved. So yeah, go on Ireland. It's awesome, yeah. That's a really important building in our culture, particularly to older homosexual people, because that was home away from. That was a place back in the 80s they could take off the mask before they have to eventually. Because Ireland used to be run by the Catholic Church, And so they helped decide our laws. Because of that, it was illegal to be gay in Ireland until the year 1993. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. It wasn't enforced, just so you don't think we're savages or anything like that. The 60s, Britain, swinging 60s, Britain legalizes homosexuality. It's not fully accepted, but it is openly tolerated. Same here. You know, you if you're good at your job, you get promoted. You know, people without really care that much. But if you wanted to, you know, play for the sports team, you wanted to represent your country with pride and wear the colours, or be a politician, you couldn't be openly gay. You know, tragic, terrible. And I'm really proud to tell you that's all gone. In 1993, I think the reason we legalised it is because the EU were like, this is human rights. Yeah, you can't have this illegal. But I'm really proud to tell you it is very much gone, because in 2015, we became the first country in the whole world to legalise gay marriage by popular vote. Nearly all of your countries probably did it ahead of us. That's awesome, good for you. But the problem is your politicians changed the laws, and that means obviously future politicians could potentially change it back. Whereas we have enshrined it in our constitution. We voted for it, and only we can get rid of it. And if you don't know this already, Irish people don't like being told what to do. Yeah, don't tell us what to do. You want us to do something, you tell us to do it, we'll do the opposite thing just to piss you off. It's going to get a bit heavy, but it does have a positive ending, okay? Follow.
So that was our GuruWalks tour. Near the end, because he was getting very, very political, he asked me not to film because he had some, I guess, personal opinions about Northern Ireland that he didn't want to be published on the internet anywhere. So I didn't film that bit, but we ended up here at Dublin Castle, which you can see behind me. As for the tour itself, it was a good tour. It showed quite a lot of the history of Dublin, quite a lot of political history, if I'm completely honest. I guess he was really into his politics. But really interesting all the same. If you are interested in going on that tour, I did leave a link in the description down below, so just click on that. You go to the GuruWalks website and you'll see that particular tour. Just click on it, you'll go there. Like I mentioned, it's a totally free tour. We did give him a tip of 20 euros at the end, which I think is fair, and I don't want to charge for just under 2-hour tour. Yeah, I saw other people giving 10 euros each, so that's, I think, about average. As I mentioned, we have done GuruWalks around Europe, so if you are interested in free walking tours, have a look on my channel. You can see some walking tours around Bath, York, Berlin, Vienna, and I think our personal favourite one is Rome. That's on there somewhere, so just have a look around, you'll see those. So that was our free GuruWalks tour. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in going on that tour, I've left a link down below in the description. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.